Well, howdy and good afternoon, everyone. Eric from the Nomadic Fanatic channel coming to you from Gulfport, Mississippi. Things are changing here in southern Mississippi. Last night, I turned off the mini split inside the bus, sleeping in here, and outside it got down to 55. Inside it eventually, I woke up and it was 59 degrees inside the bus. I cranked on the mini split heat pumps, and in about 10 minutes, set to 70, we were back up comfortable to make coffee and everything. Guys, today is a fun day for, well, actually, this is not a one-day thing. We've been working on this for 2 days, and we've still got a few more days to go. Plumbing in the bus. Building a custom plumbing system in a schoolie, in a school bus. There's no blueprints for this, guys. Yep, thanks for joining me on the channel, guys. I will be uploading this video with some Connecten internet right here in southern Mississippi. Be sure to check out the video description below for unlimited high-speed internet, how I watch TV, how I upload all my videos, do all my internet business to keep things rolling. You ready for this? Let me show you where we're at. We're here in the kitchen. Gizmo is modeling how everything is coming out here. This is just temporary until we get running water. That's how I do all my water. We are working on some electrical and plumbing. Got my stove top here. This is not an induction cooktop. This is a regular cooktop, and we've actually put in a fuse in case the kitty, see his paws? What if he unlocks that and turns that on? That was an actual concern of mine. So we've got our 15 amp circuit run down here, and the stove is plugged in right there with, see that GFCI? I can just click that button and turn off that circuit anytime I want when I'm not cooking so that this cannot accidentally turn on. Coffee pot here is going to be, you can see the cord here, but this outlet right here, this 15 amp breaker is probably going to be somewhere here, and that is going to power the coffee maker. The sink is getting closer. Again, this won't be here either. And there's one more right there on the same 15 amp circuit for a second plug there in case we want to do something. But the plumbing, look at this, guys. Look at this. I have never had anything this cool. This is going to be so easy to keep the sink. And also, I'll be able to easily fill up the water here. I can easily come over here and fill up the water. Let me pull this out a little more. In the coffee pot here, I can open the window and put this out here and shower outside that window. Pretty darn slick. That is a really cool looking bus sink. We are planning out the plumbing underneath. We're not done down here, but we have some connections still coming for the fresh water, cold and hot coming in, as well as, so we had to get a dual sink basin. It's not actually hooked up on the top yet. We got the flared fittings for that. We got the P-trap going out, and then that white pipe goes downhill. You can actually probably see it behind the couch right there, going still downhill over here. And then there's a hole drilled behind the couch going to the bottom compartment where I'm going to show you outside right now. So in my storage bay here, this is still a work in progress, but I want to show you. It comes to the floor here, makes a 90-degree turn, then it goes downhill like that, comes across the back bracing, continues to go down to our tank. Yes, guys. So this one here is my 50-gallon gray tank. This is my 50-gallon black tank in there. The rubber grommet and the hole has been drilled for that, so that goes in there with the 90. They're actually really simple. They come with the tanks. They're kind of like a flared fitting. You drill out this hole in your plastic tank, you put that in, and then this is flared so that when you put the 2-inch pipe in there, it continues to push this out until it seals completely. And you can see that the shower drain is also going into the tank. We still need to put the valve vent in the middle, more on that later, but there's the shower coming down with its own P-trap. Again, slight little downhill curve right into the tank. And Billy is on the other side working on the black tank for the toilet. I'm waiting for a couple more pieces to arrive in the mail. That's why we're kind of looking at how this is going to work with the 3-inch pipe here to make a 90 come to here. We're going to have a valve here. We're going to have a valve there for both tanks. Then we're going to have a main valve here at the T to be able to pull all after you do the gray and the black in that order and everything. We did have to make one change. And before I go any farther, just understand that it's not really my intention to go to a lot of campgrounds, RV resorts. I think every bus is going to be built a little differently, and in order for mine to work properly, yes, my black and gray tank valve is on the passenger side of my bus. I'm well aware that Normally in RVs, they are on the driver's side. However, it's going to be easy for me to be able to do this on my own property, to be able to just put it wherever it's got to go, or park against the side where my drain out or my Blue Boy container is. And also in Quartzsite, Arizona, the drive-through slots to dump your tanks, they're on both sides. So it doesn't even matter in Quartzsite. But understand that I needed that amount of room to be able to maneuver that. But the toilet drops straight down from the floor. And we simply did not have enough room to make that work with the existing tanks. So for right now, it goes straight down into the black tank. And again, if this were reversed and I had the drains on this side, this whole tank would have to be too far back to actually reach that. So that's why we had to make the change like it did. We have constructed the 2x6 treated wood, and this is a custom frame that Billy and I designed and put together to hold these tanks level. These are not meant to be laid flat on the ground because they have a natural arch to them to allow them to drain to the other side. So you need to prop them up on the lip. See a little lip right there? So they're all level on those lips. And then after we get all this done, of course, we will secure the entire frame to the bottom of the compartment here. One other change we made is we're going to be moving the diesel tank, diesel reservoir, because that was kind of in the way right here. And it was also hard to fill up. So everything is going to be moved over. And actually, hopefully, when we get done with it, we're going to be able to mount this on the other side of this sander fill box with the spout hanging out right here. So I just turned my key, open this. But yeah, things are moving along really, really quickly. Billy is a very good hard worker. I mean, I still feel like to an extent we're kind of winging this because there's no directions. You just kind of do it your own way, the way it makes sense to do it. And if you happen to get it wrong, you make some changes, you adapt, and you just kind of roll with the punches. We're getting really close to having running water and a fully functional bus, though. But I think the thing that surprised me the most is the cost of the plumbing parts. I told people when I got back that I was 85% done with the bus, but this plumbing project, I'm in it about $800 in parts alone and gear to be able to make my own custom holding tanks underneath the bus. And everything is kind of just a trial and error, kind of see how things work and everything. The vents, I've actually decided these do need a vent. If you don't put a vent on these tanks, it'll actually sneak through the P-trap sometimes, especially while you're moving and the water sloshes out of the P-trap in the sink and the tub, as well as the toilet. Every time you flush that toilet that goes straight down, those fumes are going to come straight back up the toilet in your face while you're flushing, unless you give it an easier way to escape. So we are doing vents, but I am not drilling back up and putting vents in the top of the roof ceiling of my bus underneath the solar panel. We're going to do something a little different. We are going to get higher, but Billy and I are working on a plan where essentially we drill another hole into each tank, and then they come up to here, they come above the tank, they're gonna come over here into this compartment behind this other sander here, then they're gonna make a 90-degree angle up for like a one-way valve, I think is what you call it. Let me see if I got it right here. Yeah, it's an ABS inline vent. That's what it looks like there. And here's what it looks like attached to a 1.5-inch pipe. It'll allow it to vent. So again, the pipe will come through there, and somewhere in here, it'll sit here higher than the tanks down there, and this will vent both tanks behind this compartment here. And another thing I want to point out, the cool thing about a bus is that I'm not buying RV parts. I'm trying to buy nothing like RV parts that are hard to get or hard to replace, or you have to wait a whole bunch. Everything in this system we purchased from Home Depot or Lowe's. You can easily walk into any store on the road and get a piece to be able to fix it, compared to an RV, except for the tanks themselves. The tanks I got from Rec Pro on Amazon, brand new. But all the components to hook it up and the drains and the water feeds and everything, they are all common parts that you would build in a house. And yes, it makes things a little more bulky, and I'm gonna lose a little bit more storage because of it, but I will be able to make my own repairs much, much easier and much more affordable down the road if I have an issue. Now, this closet right here is going to be built out for storage. Right now, it's kind of my tool center. I have the Ryobi Link system, and I just started gathering all of my stuff. I kind of wanted to show you what it takes tool-wise, and I've been traveling with this all over the country. All of my Ryobi tools and attachments and chargers and everything, I've got them neatly displayed here on the kitchen table just to show all the different, my electric loppers here, my jigsaw, my sander there, my shop vac that fits in a Homer bucket, my skill saw, my circular saw. Of course, I got a couple of these fans, angle grinder, that doohickey there. Just got my new brad nailer back there, some tools, my air horns, chargers, a light, another light. Got me a new drill because my other one caught fire. Got my impact, and there's my first drill I ever got. That is my very first Ryobi product that started everything. You can see how it's barely even green anymore. It's almost yellow. And how big it was compared to the new style that they make today. And then, of course, all my batteries and stuff. Quite the collection. I'm not even sure if this is really everything. It's most of it, though. Once again, the rain, storms. There's no hurricanes, but the rain, the flooding, the wind, the storms, the hail, it makes it very difficult to work on a bus. I have been over this all year here in southern Mississippi. It is not a good place to build a bus. We are doing everything possible to just finish this up and wrap this up. But our one dry day today has now magically turned to 3 inches of rain expected. And so everything had to be put back away or covered. And yeah, I'm just going to be organizing the inside of the bus for the next 3 days. There's nothing I can do. I have all the parts to finish the plumbing, but just fighting the weather all year in southern Mississippi. Cannot believe how much it rains. I'm going to go ahead and close this one out, guys. I hope I have better news later. We may have to pack up and just leave and head west for drier climate. Depends. We'll do what we can. Hopefully, move forward soon. Okay, bye.